teachers who are more than willing to share the information because they want to get kids really excited about science and really bring all of these terrific concepts in a hands-on way that kids really go home and get excited about doing projects. So anyway, the adaptation lab, I try to use, when I do labs, things that you can find, things that we don't have to use goggles for. And usually I try to do things that are edible, although if you have food allergies in your classroom, this Woodpecker Adaptation Lab, there are a few brands of cookies you can use that are peanut-free, so just be careful if you have any issues like that. So the first lab is over here, is called the Woodpecker for a Day. So I would talk about birds. I would talk about, you can bring Darwin into it, talk about differentiation, talk about biological niches, or niche. We talk about the different pronunciation. A lot of times too, I will have, I'll bring some Smarties in for the day so that, get them very excited. They want to not only answer because they'll get a Smartie for it. So I'll ask them questions, I'll go through the definition so we make sure we're all on the same page on what adaptation means and how that works. So then I let them have a chance to be a woodpecker for a day, where they come over here and it's basically chopsticks, and you can get creative. You can try to think of, I've seen you can use nutcrackers, you can use all sorts of different basic tools that you have in the house, pliers, and just, based on the age appropriateness, you just modify as you see fit. We can use chewy cookies, you can use M&M cookies, anything that has stuff in it that you can pick out. And the kids love doing this. You tell them obviously not to eat it. And normally I have a bunch of Oreos afterwards. So when they've cleared their plate, they can come up and get an Oreo. So that way nobody's, trying to sneak the stuff and it's like, oh, I got the chocolate chip out, so. Basically, you give them about 5 minutes or so to try, not using their fingers directly on the cookie, but try to use the different tools here and see what is the most effective tool for removing the chocolate chips, raisins from the cookie. And then you can talk about, what I have in my slides are the characteristics of a woodpecker's tongue, the structure of its head, how it's developed. It can bang against a tree without having brain injury, like most of us probably could have. But, and talking about different types of things, like, well, what kind of bird would have pincers? Or what kind of bird, for instance, we'll look over there, there's an eyedropper. And what type of bird would have a bill, or if you want scientifically, or beak, what would the structure do? What would the function be of that bird? What kind of niche would it fill? So you can talk about a variety of different bird subjects and things using this experiment. And the kids have fun. They, this was my 5th grade one. I have a 2nd grade one where basically I had it was more picture involved. So they could, circle which one they thought would look like the woodpecker based on the beak structure, and then have less writing but just more circling and checking kind of things. So, and I don't know, everyone has one of those. Okay, so that would be this experiment. That's the woodpecker one for you to try. The next one over here is being a duck for the day. I've made a pond. It looks disgusting, but it's actually stuff you have at home. Hope maybe some of you have. Those are mostly tea bags with loose tea in there. You can put pieces of cinnamon cloves. You can throw in gravel. I mean, anything you have around. I crumbled up some cookies. I had the tea bag, the actual holders for it. I just ripped them up, threw it in there. And this is where they get to see how a duck's bill is different, and you can talk about the structure being flatter and having serrations so that it acts as a strainer. Also, my best friend in doing these demos is Dollar Tree. I love that place. 2 for $1, you can't beat that. So, and I think the strainers are all in your kit. You can use smaller ones. And I got these at Dollar Tree and those. So that and GFS, right? That's another great one for getting cups, lids, and stirrers. I get these from Walgreens. You can go up to the pharmacy and just say, I'm doing a science experiment. Do you have some extra medicine droppers? And usually they'll give you 10 or so easily. So there's not a problem with that. These I wound up finding at Kmart for 50 cents a piece. You can a lot of times find them in clearance. Tweezers are always good to have anyway. So what they would do here is they'd come to the pond and they'd see, okay, well, if I'm trying to get out some of the material here to eat, which one is the most effective? And then you can discuss, once again, structure and function of the animal.